And what we're covering today is the latest update to VisualDLP. And if you want to read the release notes, you can go to support.jenmarinternational.com and then go to knowledge base, update information, and look at the March update. So I'm going to be working off of this list, but if you have any questions about any of it, certainly feel free to pose those. So one of the items we updated, it was a redefinition of the account overview. So we went in and looked at how information is being shown to you when you go into an account and looking at the transaction. So this account has an account balance of $761. And so one of the questions that we were getting is, well, how can I audit that, track that, and understand where that balance comes from? Well, if you click on the financial tab, you'll see the current through 1 through 30, 31 through 60, and so forth. But that really doesn't tell you how that balance came about. So down at the bottom of this page, now there's a new table that shows you the open balance prior to 4/1. So it's the current month. So it always starts with the current month. So the open balance is $500. And looking at the ledger, you can see that it consists of this 1 to 30, 31 to 60, and greater than 60, which equals 500. And then we have some April invoices, and there's a payment, an adjustment, and then your total balance is $761, which aligns with the account balance. Now, if I want to drill into a payment and see what this payment was applied to, I click that plus sign. I can see that this was applied to the balance import that was from January 7th. So this $100 payment applied to that balance import. So if you have accounts who have a past due balance with you and they call and they want to see, how did this balance come about, you can use this interface to answer that question. But if they want to see a copy of it, then there's a printable view of it. So if you click printable view, it takes that same data, and it's going to have the account name, open balance prior to 4/1/2020, then you're going to have all the transactions. The payment, below each payment or each adjustment in the gray area will show you where that particular credit or payment was applied to. And then you'll have your open balance. So it looks like someone has joined. Hey, Corbin. So that's the first item we've added in this update that we're going to go over is the transaction viewer. So you can see open balance through ending balance. Now, one nice feature is you can change this date if you want to go further back and say, well, that was April 1st, so what is the open balance as of March 1st? So if I change that, then this grid is going to update, and your open balance prior to March 1st is $400, and then you see transactions that contributed to your open balance of $761 since March 1st. And again, if you click the printable view, that will give you the same information just in a printable. You can save this to PDF, email it to the account so they can see how their balance has moved from whatever date you have selected in this transaction window or this drop down. Okay. So again, for those who just joined us, well, it looks like we have a question. Oh, there we go. So those who just joined us, we do have release notes for this March update out on our support site. So if you go to support.jenmarinternational.com and you can see the March update, I think you can also search for March update and it'll show you the results there. So, okay. Let's get that out of the way. So the next new feature we've added related to accounts is under account settings. And this is a new feature called default discount. So this is a discount that will apply to every case entered under this account. So here we've got special account discount, and that's set for this account. Any doctors that are in this account, so right now we've got one named Bill Nye. So any orders that are entered for Bill Nye that get billed to this account will get that special account discount applied. Now, related to that, we've also added under the discount section, if I go to special account discount, we now have a default percentage related to each discount. So prior to this update, you could do discounts in order entry, but you'd have to specify the percentage that you wanted to apply, on a case-by-case basis. So now you can define a discount and specify the default percentage. Now you can still override that percentage if you want. So your default percentage may be, in this case, 10%, but if you wanted to bump it to 15% at order entry, that's fine, you could do that. Now, if discounts aren't your flavor and you want to add charges automatically to an account, we've added a feature to do that too. So again, under the account record, so I'm looking at my new account, and we were just on the financial overview. We just talked about account settings. Now I'm going to go to this new tab called Tag-Along Products. And what this is useful for is adding a product to every order that this particular account sends into you. So a good use case of that, so if I click on Tag-Along Products, here's a shipping and delivery fee. Now that you may have a special price for doctors on whatever price list that this doctor is on for that shipping and delivery. You may set it to be variably priced. That product, shipping and delivery, could be set to be variably priced so that when you enter it in, or when it automatically appears on the case, you may want to override further, so maybe you need to handle it that way. Here on the order, when you enter a case for this, looks like my internet connection is getting unstable.
Yeah, Andy, you faded out for just a minute there.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you go back to when you were talking about when you override was the thing we heard?
Yeah, so when this product appears on an order, if it's set for variably priced, variable pricing, you could actually override. But what this feature actually does is gets this product onto every order for this account, my new account, and for every doctor in the account. So let's look at an example of that. If I come in and I create an order and I say Bill Nye, select Mr. Nye, and you'll notice that the shipping and delivery fee automatically appeared, and it has a special discount of 10% because that's the special discount we've added for this account. All right, so now I can continue with case entry and add any other products. Now, just to remind you, we've always had, if I go into this product, the PFM, you can always add tag-along products to existing products. So there may be like a package of products that you put together and say, when I put this product in, I want this product to go along with it. So you could have said, select this shipping and delivery product for the PFM if that was appropriate. Maybe this represents some other process you do with this product. So there's two types of tag-alongs. They're product tag-alongs, and they're now account tag-alongs. That's the new feature we added in the March update. Okay. Another addition is on the order. So let's find an order that has a patient associated with it. So this Angie Smith. So there's a previous order for Angie Smith in the system. When I go in and type in Bill, and we type patient name Angie Smith, and save that, you'll notice that it says this patient has one other order with this doctor. So I can click to view that. There we go. I can click the view and see there's a previously invoiced order for Angie Smith and Dr. Nye. That's great. Now, previously this only appeared during order entry. So it only showed up when I was entering the case. Now that information, that previous case exists message, is persistent every time I open this case up. So I'll see it at the top of the screen to remind me that there's been a previous order with this doctor and this patient. So that's useful if you put a case on hold and you're entering a new case, or you get authorization to proceed, they send a prescription in. Rather than entering the same case, you'll see that, well, we have a case on hold for this patient and doctor, so we can click on it to go to it and continue the case.
Andy, there was a question that came in a few minutes ago and from Eugene that says, can you print it with an open balance?
Oh, sorry. Okay, we missed that.
Sorry, I missed that when it came in. But yeah.
Okay, so let's see if this answers your question. The printable view, when you go to printable view, it does show the open ending balance. But I think if I understand your question, if that's what you're looking for, yes. But what you might be asking is, can you print the open amount of each invoice? And so, Eugene, if that's your question, right now we do not have the open amount listed on that report, but it could be added. I think right now it just shows, the invoice amount. But we could certainly add that if you wanted to do that. So Brian, if you could keep an eye on that and see if that answers his question.
Yeah, I've got it open now.
Okay. The other major update, or new features we've added in this update, is we are moving into beta of our VisualDLP EasyRx integration. And some of the things that we've added into VisualDLP to support that is, in each account, if there's a new tab now called EasyRx account. And so this represents the account that your customer has in EasyRx. And so if I go here and click on this, it's asking me to log into my EasyRx connected lab account. So those of you who aren't familiar with EasyRx, EasyRx is an online prescription platform that your customers can use to submit cases, files, to your lab. And there are a lot of benefits to the practice that we can go over if you're interested in reviewing that with us. But basically, it allows them to manage their prescriptions with you. See the status of the order. Has it been shipped? Is it invoiced? Checked in, etc. But it all starts with you as the lab having a connected lab account. So if you have that, and it's free to sign up, there's no charge to the lab to sign up for a connected lab account. So I can either click the sign up button and provide my lab name and an email address, and that will sign me up. If you have that, once you've signed up, I can click the login button, and I'll come in and sign up as my connected lab account. And so there's you only need one sign in for the lab. Once I log in, that will redirect me back to VisualDLP, and now it will recognize that I'm logged in. So now I can actually invite this account to sign up for an EasyRx account and connect to my lab. So let's make sure we have email address and address. So it does require an email address for this, so let's do that. Let's just say, well, let's use a different account. Alex, well, here we go. Let's take this Alex Wood account. So if I go to the EasyRx account, I can see the invitation's already been sent, so I can resend this if I'd like. So let's take one that we know hasn't been sent yet. So Alfred Dental Clinic. So we have a phone number, we have we need an email address. So let's just put alfred@mainthub.com, which is my catch-all email address. And we need an address too. And when you go through the invitation process, it'll tell you this, that you need this. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in ahead of time. All right, so we have an address in now. So let's go invite this account. Well, we need a doctor too. So the account is one thing. We need a person. There has to be a person that we're adding to this invitation. So let's just add a doctor in. So Alfred, say Jones, Dr. Jones. That's who we're going to send this to. So let's link that doctor now to Alfred. All right, done. So now when we go through our invitation process, and now that we have all the data that's necessary, it says, who's the account owner? And that's why we needed that. So who is the person who owns this? What email address are we going to use? What phone number, what address? Step 3. And so now you're going to get this email message that will come up, and this is what is going to be sent to them. And it says, we'd like to invite you to start using EasyRx to submit cases to our lab. Describes what EasyRx is. And again, there's no charge for the doctor to sign up for the service. So now I can go into step 4, send that invitation, and I'll kind of fast forward a little bit, and I'll log in as an existing, so it says we've sent the invitation. If you come back to this, it'll tell you whether or not it's been accepted or not, or you can resend it if necessary. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as an account who's already accepted the invitation. Oops. Okay. I think I put the wrong password in. I should know these. There we go. So here's an account, Alex Wood, and you can see there's already been one prescription submitted, but I can go through and create a prescription, for Andy Stark. When do I need it back? I need it back on the 22nd. Who's the doctor? What office are we shipping to? So we're sending it to the one lab that we have connected to, which is my lab, and I'll create that. So now I can use, if I have any templates that the lab has pushed out for the practice to use, or they can come in and search for, I can just say I'm looking for a crown. And you have, as a lab, have control over this. So you can change what they see if you want to brand this information to your particular lab. So I can just drag that onto the canvas. I can put shade information in, incisal, gingival, what do I want the margins to look like, the pontic. And that information can be defined by the lab, what is required for each product that they select. Then there's, if they're an iTero user, they can look up the iTero scan and attach this. They can manually attach scan files, or they can just say, I'm sending in a plaster model, and then sign and submit that. So there are several integrations that have been done in EasyRx on the scanner side. So if you have practices, you can contact us and we can tell you whether or not those scanners are already integrated with EasyRx. So this will process once I hit submit. There it goes. So it says it's been submitted, and you have a prescription identifier of 1002237. So now this case will actually show up in VisualDLP by going in and looking at, let me refresh this. There we go. So there's the case we just submitted. Came from Dr. Alex Wood for patient Andy Stark. If I open that, you can see there's a ceramic crown on tooth number 28. The unit price is already calculated in based on the price list this doctor's on. If I go to notes, I can see all the design information that was submitted. And now what I would want to do is select the workflow that we're going to use to create this crown. So from my production settings, I can choose the workflow we're going to use, save that, and go ahead and schedule this order. So there's no data entry. I don't have to re-enter all the information that's coming off the prescription. And so now we have our schedule. It's telling us it might be late. So let's go back over to the prescription now, and we'll refresh this screen so you can see what the doctor's office would see, or the practice sees. They'll see that it's been checked in at the lab on April 9th. Now, let me close, there we go. If there was a need to contact the office and ask for more time, or approve a design, or whatever it might be, so you could say, doctor, we may need a few extra days, whatever the note might be. And this note can be selected. You now have EasyRx notifications. So you could say notify only and require approval. And I save that. And that's going to submit that note to the prescription. So if I come back over here, and they will get an email that it's been notified, but they'll also see it on their dashboard. So there's a clinical notification here on this prescription, and they can see that as well right here under clinical notifications. So there's a notification back to the practice. So if I open this up, case notification, I'll open that, and here's where they would have to certify that they approve that, or they're gonna, maybe it's a treatment plan, or it's a request for more time, or whatever it is. So you have notifications moving back and forth between the office and the lab now through EasyRx. You also have access to the files. If there are any STL files or any scan files attached in images, they would all show up under the file section here. And when I proceed with this case, create it, invoice it. I'm going to invoice this order. So that's done now. If I come back over to the practice view, I'll reload this. You'll notice that it still says it's checked in at lab. Now it says it's completed. So invoicing the order is the trigger for marking this as completed. And then finally, I can mark it as shipped, and that would update the shipping information on here as well. We do have an integration with UPS coming out probably in our next update. So that would be available for producing the shipping label and then writing the tracking number into the case, and then sending that tracking number back over to EasyRx. That's all going to be available as well. I think that's probably going to be in the April update. So, a couple other things, you can access the original prescription through the order here. So if you click this little I next to the prescription number, it will open the EasyRx image. And prescription numbers are searchable. So if I'm on the order entry screen, the order list, and I want to search, if the doctor's office calls and says, we submitted prescription 1002237, if I search for that, it'll find that for me. And we do have a complete audit history, available to it. So So any changes you make to the order, when it's invoiced, when it's sent back to the lab or to the practice, will all be tracked in the history of that case. Okay. Couple other minor updates to this, bug fixes really, in this update. There were some issues with a rounding issue when you're issuing a credit, allocating revenue to multiple departments when a discount is present on the order. So if you do department splits for revenue tracking purposes for one product, you could split one product among multiple departments. When there was a discount on the order, it was not allocating properly. So we found that and fixed it. There was also an issue when you were entering an order and the account does not have a default address on file, it would allow you to proceed. We're actually warning you now and not letting you save the case until you put an address, because we actually drive tax purposes or tax calculations off the address. So we couldn't allow that. Also, when you saved an order and you don't have a patient name in the order, when you went back to add the patient name, there were certain situations where it wouldn't save, even though it looked like it did. So we fixed that. But again, there were several bug fixes in this update as well, and you can review the release notes out on the support site for that. So, okay. If you are interested in beta testing and being involved with the beta test in EasyRx VisualDLP integration, you can reach out to us. Just send an email to support or call us. We can get you set up with that. It'll be generally available probably in May. But if you're interested in getting an early start, get in touch with us. So, any questions that we can answer while we're here? It looks like just that one that came in from Eugene. Can you?
Yeah, there's another one that just popped up.
View with all open items. So, question is, can you print and view all open items? So if you wanted to just see open items, you can filter this to just open. I'm not sure where that's coming from. And when you have all just open items on the screen, you can dump it out to PDF or Excel or CSV. So yes, you can filter this grid to show just the open items. Now, yes, the question is, will we put this on YouTube? Yeah, we'll push this out to YouTube. So yeah, you can filter open items on the grid view and then export that or print it to PDF. The printable view does not have the ability just to filter to open items. It shows everything that was in that data set. So if you need to get a view of just open items, your choices are to put it into an Excel file or a PDF. So, but always open. If you have suggestions on how to improve that, we'd certainly consider them. All right, I think that's it that I wanted to cover today. We planned on 45 minutes, but I think we got it all done in 30. So I want to thank everyone for joining today, and look forward to working with you guys. Those of you who are using VisualDLP, I want to thank you, and those of you who are in process of converting, let's keep working on it. And those of you who are not customers, certainly would love to get you started on the path of migration. So, with
there's
that,
one question from Jenny asking if we'll be putting this on YouTube.
Yeah, we will be. Yeah, we'll put this back on YouTube. Yep. So Jamie, we'll send a link to you so you have that. All right. Well, everyone have a great day, and thanks for joining with us.